Copilot agents are fast, but governance needs to be faster. What if you could see exactly which agents accessed SharePoint or OneDrive sites, then tighten controls in minutes? I'm Steve Corey, Microsoft MVP, and today I'm going to show you how the new Agent Access Insights report works, what licenses you need, how to enable data collection, how to read the results, plus a PowerShell tip to kick off a report on demand. Let's get into it. So the Agent Access Insights report gives SharePoint admins tenant-wide visibility into which agents, meaning SharePoint agents, declarative agents, custom agents, which agents accessed which particular site and OneDrive account over a selected period, sourced from the Microsoft 365 Unified Audit Logs. You'll spot access patterns, you'll see distribution across sites, and then you can apply controls like Restricted Access Control, RAC, or Restricted Content Discovery, RCD. First, let's talk about the licensing that's needed for this. Since this report is a feature of SharePoint Advanced Management, you'll need at least one Microsoft 365 Copilot license in your tenant. It doesn't have to be assigned to you at all, but it does have to be in the tenant. It can be assigned to anyone. But one of those licenses is needed to light up all of these SharePoint Advanced Management features. Once that's done, you'll need to be a SharePoint admin or equivalent to run these reports. Now let's hop over to SharePoint. I'll show you where to find this. So I'm over here in the SharePoint Admin Center. The first thing you want to do is go down to Reports, Agent Insights, and I've covered the other report on my channel, but the new one is the Agent Access. You'll click on this, and you'll see any reports that have been run. Now, if this is the first time you're going to this, you'll be prompted to enable data collection. The reports will become available for creation about 24 hours after enabling it, and it'll hold that data for about 28 days. So if you don't see the same screen that I'm looking at, you'll probably see a big old button that says Enable Data Collection. So make sure you hit that like a day or so before you actually want to generate a report. And if you don't generate a report for like 3 months, then the data collection will just simply stop and you'll have to re-enable it. You want that data collection enabled and running at all times because that's the data you're going to be running your reports off of, right? So let's take a look at creating a new report. You'll click on Create Report. We can give it a name. How about last month? And then you'll pick a duration. We'll do the 28 days. I don't know why it doesn't go to 30 days or 31 days. Why is it 28? Does this only apply in February? Anyway, that's a whole nother argument. But it's Microsoft math. So a month is, 30 days, I guess. I don't know. So what we'll do is click on Create at this point. And then it's going to take a few hours probably to generate this. It's definitely going to take some time to generate the new report. So let's check out the one I already ran. We'll get right back to the video, but real quick, Copilot is really great for working with your data, but how are you protecting that data? If you don't have a backup and recovery strategy, here's your wake-up call. Think your cloud data is safe just because it's in Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace? Think again. Accidental deletions, ransomware, and compliance gaps can still put your business at risk. AFI is a next-gen backup and recovery platform built for modern cloud environments, including Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Azure, AWS, and Kubernetes. It offers full fidelity restores, encrypted full-text search, version history, and even self-service recovery, so users can get back data without waiting on IT. And when ransomware hits, AFI detects it early and automatically backs up your data before damage is done. Over 10,000 organizations trust AFI to protect their cloud data. If you care about uptime, compliance, and peace of mind, it's time to back up smarter with AFI. We'll pull up the last 7 days report, and you'll see on here which SharePoint and OneDrive sites have been accessed. We'll see here that my root site has been accessed by a particular agent. You'll see the template. So it was a communication site. How many requests were made to that site? How many agents were connecting to that site? Who the site owner is? You'll see the settings of RCD and RAC, as well as whether external sharing is turned on. So it is nice. It gives you some visibility here into what's going on, as well as if there's a sensitivity label on that site. So that is a really good quick view to know what's kind of the security status of this site. Is there any sensitive data on it? Should I be concerned that there is an agent pulling data or connecting to that site to do something? We can find out more information if we click on the row itself. Now, don't click on the link for the site because it's just going to take you into that site. So click over here on somewhere where it's not a hyperlink. But then we'll see the details of the agents. Well, in this case, it was Pathfinder. That was one of my SharePoint agents I've covered in a past video. You'll see it generated that one request, and we'll see declarative here. Now, that is the agent type. It's a declarative agent. Let me know if you want a little bit more detail on what a declarative agent means and what the alternative to a declarative agent would be, because I would love to cover that, but only if that's something you would find valuable. And speaking of value, if you've gotten some value out of this video so far, then please click that like button. And if you've learned one new thing, then consider subscribing. It's just an easy, free way to support me so I can continue to make videos for you. So let's keep going through this. We have options here at the top. We can restrict site access with this button. And I don't have rack enabled on my environment right now, but if I did, I would be able to restrict the who can access this site, regardless of who content was shared with. I won't get into this, but if you want to see more about rack, then look in the description for my video where I've covered that feature. And then restrict content discovery. This is definitely it could be a very valuable feature, but there's definitely some downsides to it. You'll see a link in the description below as well for that video, because it is really beneficial to be aware of both of those options and to hear about why you might enable one versus the other. But the important thing is, from this screen, you can take action immediately, and that could be to secure this site from other agents. It could be to restrict access if you see that there's agents accessing it and now there's also sensitive content on that site. A lot of these reports in the SAM suite, SharePoint Advanced Management suite, do have those buttons to take action on the site. So while you're in the report, you actually can take action, which is a whole lot better than most other reports where it's read-only and you'll have to navigate to some admin interface and click some buttons and enable all the stuff and things like that. So these reports have been very, very valuable for me so far. But there's one other way we can enable this, and that is through PowerShell. So I'm in PowerShell and I've logged into SharePoint using the SharePoint Management Shell. This is not PnP PowerShell. This is the official one from Microsoft. I've connected to it, and then I can start a new report generation by running this command. And obviously you can tweak the number of days here for the length you want to run this for. And that has kicked off the report. It's going to take some time, but we should be able to refresh this screen. And then we'll also need to go back up to Agent Access. And here you'll see those other reports running. You'll see the last month report that we did through the user interface, and then we'll see the 14-day report that we got through PowerShell. So if you want to be able to script this out and just have reports kick off every single month, or at least 28 days, so that you could always have a fresh report ready for you, PowerShell is great for something like this. You could potentially use a runbook or something like that to automatically issue these report calls so that all of the different types of reports are there when you need them. This feature of SAM is really, really cool. If you want to see the other features that SAM provides, because there's a lot, and not all of them are inside the UI of the SharePoint Admin Center, just click or tap the screen and I'll see you over there.